Hey, what is up, mortals? It is AC here. And before we get into today's video, there is something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time. So if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if this video hits 300 likes by the end of the week, we will continue this what if. Thirdly, if you didn't know, only 41.3% of you guys are subscribed to us. So please, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the story. When we last left off, Izuku and Bakugo fought in a test of dominance. Although Bakugo tried his best, Izuku still ended out on top. A couple days passed, and it was officially time for Class 1A to go on their scheduled school trips to Lodge. Everyone was incredibly excited for this opportunity, but what no one was expecting was for Aizawa to stop the bus in what seemed to be the middle of nowhere. "Alright, everyone, time to get out," Aizawa called. Class 1A looked to their teacher in confusion, but ultimately went along with their teacher's commands. This was when three new people arrived at the scene. A blonde-haired woman wearing a blue cat-themed outfit, another woman, but she wore a red version of the outfit the previous one had on, and she had brown hair. Finally, a young-looking boy with a sour look on his face. "Greetings, UA students! We are the Wild Pussycats!" The two spoke in unison. The brown-haired female began to explain Class 1A's current situation, which shocked the class. They weren't going to some sort of resort, but in fact, they were going to be staying at the base of a mountain that the Pussycats owned. "You all have 3 hours to make it to the top of the mountain, or else you won't get supper," the blonde added. Many of Class 1A immediately tried to get back on the bus, only for Aizawa to have left already. "Alright, I guess this won't be so bad. After all, we just need to climb that mountain, right?" Kaminari thought. "Wrong!" Pixie Bob exclaimed before slamming her hand on the ground. The ground began to morph itself into multiple different beasts made out of dirt, which terrified the weaker members of Class 1A. Koda tried to use his quirk to control the beasts, but it had no effect on them, seeing as how they weren't real animals, but just a manifestation of someone's quirk. "Well, I guess we'll just have to fight our way through!" Bakugo laughed, cracking his knuckles. Bakugo, Izuku, Ida, and Todoroki all leaped into action not too soon afterwards. Izuku's biggest challenge throughout all of it was trying to control his output of One for All. He could have just zoomed by the rest of the class and made it to the top of the mountain within the time given, but that would defeat the purpose of the exercise. That, and it was good training for himself too. Some of the beasts he used too much strength attacking and caused enough wind pressure to cause some trees to collapse. Others he used too little, and they were completely unharmed by his attacks, which frustrated him. It took a little bit before he could find the right percentage to use against them that could still cut down the amount significantly. Thanks to the combined efforts of Class 1A, they were all able to make it to the mountain in a couple hours later than the deadline. But it was revealed that there were no expectations for Class 1A to even make it to the top of the mountain in that given time. This revelation irked some of the members quite a bit. "Anyways, you all are going to be strengthening your quirks while you're at this training camp," Aizawa explained. This left Class 1A in confusion. What did their teacher mean by strengthening their quirks? Wasn't that what they were doing this whole time? "I can see you're all confused by what I mean by this, so I'll give you all a demonstration. Bakugo, catch." Bakugo managed to catch a softball from Aizawa and was instructed to launch the ball as far as possible while staying within the restraints of the circle. Just like the beginning of the year, which then made some of the members realize something. Mineta was expelled, but he was still somehow part of their class. Before the class could ponder on this thought for any longer, they saw Bakugo launch the ball with furious intensity, screaming, "Die!" This caused some of the class to sweat drop in response. Some things never seemed to change when it came onto Bakugo's character. 709.6 meters, Aizawa spoke blandly. "What? No way! Bakugo should have gotten a crazily higher score than that!" Kirishima shouted. Aizawa groaned hearing this. "Well, it may be true you all have gone through your fair share of experiences during your time at UA, honing your skills with your quirks. That's just it. You haven't actually been strengthening your quirks at all, hence why Bakugo got the score he did. He hasn't been strengthening his quirk that much at all, just finding different ways to use his quirk." This started to make sense in all the students' eyes, and their days of quirk strength building began. In Izuku's case, Aizawa pulled him away from the rest of the class for a moment. "Now, Izuku, I know you're incredibly strong already with your quirk, but I've been wondering if it was possible for you to go even further beyond your max output. Your quirk is similar to All Might's after all, and even he seemed to be able to go beyond his limits during his last fight." Aizawa pondered.
Well, you see, I never really tried doing that before, to be honest. It never actually came to mind. All I really thought about for the longest was to get a better control with my quirk's output, as you've seen how destructive it can be.
Aizawa nodded. Well, starting tomorrow, that's what we'll be doing. You'll be pushed to boost your quirk to beyond its current limits. If your current limit is 100%, let's see if we can get you to do 150% and even higher.
Is that really necessary though, Aizawa-sensei?
Izuku asked. Before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we have a third channel called Anime Theory. Anime Theory mainly focuses on a large variety of mind-boggling anime theories. If you are interested in content like this, please go check the description below, or click the icon in the top right corner. Now with that out of the way, let's get back into the story. Aizawa looked at Izuku with an intensity in his eyes that Izuku was not familiar with at all. It made him squeamish under his glare. It is absolutely necessary, Midoriya. You'll never know when you're fighting a villain, and 100% is not enough. When you have to go beyond, plus ultra. Izuku was speechless for a moment before nodding his head in the affirmative with a determined smile on his face. The next day, in the crack of dawn, Class 1A is forced to wake up and sent out of their training camp cabin in order to start training, in order to upgrade their quirks. When Class 1B is brought to the lodge as well, and caught up to speed about what was going to be happening while they were there, they noticed how this training didn't seem to be in all that favorable of a condition. As a matter of fact, it looked like torture, with the other students pushing their quirks to their absolute limit, and then some. A couple of the members of Class 1B doubt that such a large group of students can be monitored by so few supervisors. This is when a large, muscular man wearing a brown version of the Pussycat's outfit appears. A woman with green hair wearing a yellow version of the uniform walked right beside him, introducing themselves as Tiger and Ragdoll, the other two members of the Pussycats. Since you all doubt our skills, how about one of you come up and try to fight me? Anyone with a simple power-enhancing quirk will do, Tiger suggested. Izuku reluctantly goes up and charges at Tiger with about 65% of One For All. He felt that Tiger could probably take much more punishment, considering he was a pro hero, and from his appearance as well. It really seemed like he was on the physically stronger side, hence why he decided to go at a higher percentage rate. This caught Tiger off guard, and only his instinctive reflexes were able to save him here, as he was able to just barely dodge Izuku's punch. A strong wave of air pressure was released from Izuku's punch, though, impressing the hero. Tiger tries to punch Izuku, but Izuku is able to leap away fast enough. Midoriya here is an exception. It's not necessarily power he lacks, but more so control. He'll be working on those two things, though, throughout this training. The Pussycats are actually a very suitable team of instructors for you all, considering their large area effect of quirks, Aizawa pointed out. You're a strong one, kid, but your movements are too straightforward and stiff. Something a villain may take advantage of if you aren't careful, so that's another thing you should work on throughout this training, Tiger mentioned. Izuku took note of this and began to vigorously stretch. In the middle of the night, everyone was trying to learn how to cook curry. Izuku wasn't doing too good of a job, but he still tried. While cooking though, he noticed the little boy who was with the other Pussycats at the time leave and disappear into somewhere else, leaving Izuku in curiosity about the boy.
Mandalay, what's with the little kid in your group? Is he one of your guys' kid?
Izuku inquired. Mandalay simply shook her head before sighing.
Well, you see, he's my nephew. His parents are both pro heroes. You may have known them as the Water Hose Heroes. They were a hero duo, but they died in the line of duty. When Koda was 3, his parents were defending a city from a powerful villain. They managed to subdue the villain and save all the civilians, but in exchange, their lives were lost that day. Their heroic efforts were constantly praised, but this ended up affecting Koda's view on heroes, warping his views to the point where he claims to hate heroes. Izuku felt pretty bad for the kid hearing this, and wondered what the little one was currently doing, considering how he hated heroes that much, yet here he was stuck sharing a place with pro heroes and 40 students all learning how to become pro heroes. He decides to go on and look for the young one, known as Koda, in order to, hopefully, comfort him. Let him know that he doesn't have to feel alone in this world. Despite what may have happened in the past, he doesn't have to isolate himself and burden himself with all those pent-up emotions he may probably be holding. He looks around the mountain for a bit, before finally stumbling upon Koda. He had a bowl of curry with him made by one of the other students, since his curry cooking was atrocious. Hi, Hi there!
Izuku tries to greet the boy before offering the bowl of curry to him.
I noticed that you didn't eat anything, so I figured you may be hungry.
Koda didn't respond to Izuku, but Izuku still rested the bowl on the floor in case Koda wanted any. Izuku sits down on the floor opposite to Koda, going on to explain his awareness of the boy's unique circumstances. Naturally, Koda was enraged hearing this.
I have a story about a kid who was born quirkless. You see, this kid was always mocked for not having a quirk, for being different from everyone else. He was seen as below everyone else.
What's the point of the story? Koda interrupted. Izuku laughed a little, hearing the boy's impatience.
Well, the moral of the story is, to accept reality. Look, Koda, you can't reject reality as it'll only hurt you even more.
Koda's eyes twitch hearing this.
Leave!
Koda yelled. Izuku complies with the boy's demand, raising his hand in defense as well.
Sorry,
Izuku whispered before leaving. During the two boys' interaction, though, something was happening from behind the scenes. A few kilometers away from the camp, several masked figures appear from the shadows. Let's attack this camp now! We've been waiting for long enough already, a gruff voice states. Patience. It's simply not time yet, another responded. This is simply a warning signal after all. The era of heroes will soon pass. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer for this video, as well as the editors for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out mortals, have an amazing day.